there was an election in 1800. Washington had 2 terms, and Adams had 1. And Jefferson was Adams' vice president. But in the election of 1800, Jefferson ran on his own ticket, or a separate ticket, separate party. And there was a split between Adams and Jefferson. And Jefferson was more, he wanted favored states' rights and an agrarian democracy, a democracy of farmers and small and people with land holding, farming, an agrarian society. And Adams and Hamilton, and to, I think, a pretty large extent, Washington, favored a strong central government with currency and banking and laws and armies and navy and all of that, the central federalized federal power. And it was extremely virulent, that election. People were calling each other cohabiting with whores, and some historians say far more vile than anything we've seen in recent times. The result of this was that Adams and Jefferson did not speak or communicate for 11 years. Until the summer of 1811. And they had a mutual friend, Benjamin Rush, who was a famous physician in Philadelphia and also signer of the Declaration of Independence. And he wanted them reconciled and had been trying for years. And he came up to Adams' farm in Massachusetts and was, I forget what he said, but he was trying a reconciliation. And Adams just sort of almost blurts out, "I always loved Jefferson." And I still love him. And Benjamin Rush goes to see Jefferson, or writes to Jefferson and tells him what Adams has said. Jefferson's heart is melted. January 1st, the following January, so about 6 months later, Adams writes a letter to Jefferson. And the friendship is healed. It begins. This book, almost 600 pages of letters, some of which are 20, 30 pages long in book print. So in hand script, enormous letters. And they're talking about everything: science, literature, French, the Bhagavad Gita, musings of these minds that are just brilliant. It's incredible. It gives me goosebumps to read it. And the elevated language is just, it's sublime. It's John Adams to Jefferson. Quincy, Massachusetts, 19th April, 1825. I have lost your last letter to me, the most consolatory letter I've ever received in my life. What would I not give for a copy of it? your friend to all eternity, John Adams. 10 weeks later, on July 4th, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson was 83 years old. At 12:50 p.m., almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he passes. John Adams, born in 1735, was 91. Shortly before he dies, at 6:20 in the evening, about no more than 5 hours later, his last words were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." This gets me to thinking, like, what would it be like to have a current of love running through everything? And here are two men who did it.